Hey Internet, Eric here. A little late talking about this subject. It might be already irrelevant, or people might think it's irrelevant even if it was brand new. Um, Apparently Uwe Boll has retired from making movies. And if you are not in the know, Uwe Boll is he's not a very well respected director of movies. He's known for making numerous video game or movie adaptations of various video games. Um, he's notorious for making very well panned movies. Everyone shits on him. They act like he's Ed Wood. He's like our generation's Ed Wood, which I think is very harsh. I personally am a big fan of Uwe Boll. I have the entire Blood Rain series. And I also have, which I'm a fan of. I mean, this one is fun. I'm going to obviously do a review soon. Blood Rain is fun. Blood Rain 2. She fights a vampiric Billy the Kid. Blood Rain 3, she finally fights the Nazis. And then also, I have the House of the Dead series. And he has nothing to do with part 2, but I just threw it in there for what the fuck's sake. But, anyways, Uwe Boll is basically, a lot of his movies get panned. No one really gives a shit about them other than basically me. Unless you're one of those people that watch his movies because they're so bad they're good. And, I enjoy Uwe's films from what I've seen, for the most part. House of the Dead is incredibly fun. It is so bad it's good, but it's a very good turn your brain off for 90 minutes. Definitely going to have to review it for my You Hate It, I Don't series. It's a very good, fun, shoot 'em up zombie film. Blood Rain films are very fun. It's a good it's a good vampire movie. Like I said, the second one goes in the Wild West where she fights a vampiric Billy the Kid of all people. She fights Nazis in the third one. So those are good, fun, violent vampire movies. So he did a movie called Postal, again based off a video game, which again was so much fun, and is also poking fun at everything. I mean, President George W. Bush is secretly best friends with Bin Laden. Okay, they're like calling each other on the phone and asking each other what they should do to get what needs to be done, I guess. And where else will you see Vern Troyer attacked by a bunch of rabid monkeys? But what I like about Uwe Boll is, like I said, he made these movies cheap, and he did the best he could to make fun, entertaining films. And that's what I'm going to miss. Like I said, I enjoy all the Blood Rain series. I enjoyed House of the Dead. Postal was fun. He's made some stinkers. I mean, I really didn't enjoy Alone in the Dark very much. Let's see here. And Seed was horrible. Seed was boring. But I've heard his Rampage movies are really good. Assault on Wall Street, I've heard are really good, which I have in my Netflix queue. And what I also like about Uwe Boll, or liked, I guess, no, I still like him, is he knew his reputation. And he ran with it. He knew people hated him. He knew people thought he was just a cocky German dude. People would call him, Hitler and shit like this. So what does Uwe do? In a movie called Blubberella, which he filmed at the same time as Blood Rain 3, The Third Reich. He filmed a movie called Blubberella, which is basically, I guess, I don't know if they're fighting vampires, but it's basically a fat chick fighting Nazis. Like I said, filmed at the same time. He's got some of the same actors, like Clint Howard's in Blood Rain 3. He's also in Blubberella. And in that film, I believe Uwe Boll played Hitler. And so he is parodying himself. He takes, his shitty reputation, And it's basically a fuck you to the fans saying, you know, you call me Hitler, fine, I'm going to fucking play Hitler in one of my films. Fuck you. And that's what I loved about him. In Postal, he plays a parody of himself. Zach Ward he's the lead star in Postal. And Zach Ward worked with Uwe in Blood Rain 2. Zach Ward was Billy the Kid, the fucking vampire. And if you don't know Zach Ward, it's Scut Farkus from Christmas Story. And they're at Oktoberfest, or like a parody of Oktoberfest. And Uwe is playing a parody of himself. He's dressed up in the fucking lederhosen, the goofy hat, and the socks, and the shoes, and everything. And I don't remember, like, the point of, like, the purpose of that scene. But he was playing himself, and it was great because, like I said, he's poking so much fun at himself. There's a scene, I think it's in the outtakes, like during the credits. And someone in the crowd just yells at Uwe and calls him a bastard or an asshole, and he made like a comment about World War II or something like that. And someone looks at him and says, "You son of a bitch, my father died in World War II." And he looks at her and he says, "Yeah, my father died too. He fell from a bell tower." You know, so he's poking fun at himself, the hatred people have of him. There's another thing where there's another scene where he says, he looks like directly into the camera, like he's being interviewed. He looks directly into the camera and he says, "A lot of people think," well, I'm not going to do a fucking German accent. "A lot of people think that my films are funded by Nazi gold." And you know what? It's true. That's what I love about him. He runs with his fucking horrible reputation and he gives no shits. Another thing I love about Uwe is, I've mentioned this before, like one of my rants or something, I call them keyboard warriors. And this is like the internet community acting all tough, you know, behind their keyboards. So they always talk shit about Uwe. You know, your movies suck, you know, go back to Germany, blah, 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 blah. So what does Uwe do? Uwe challenges these internet critics to a boxing match. I don't know if it's for charity or whatever, but it's a boxing event. And I think 4 actually accepted. And it was like a semi-big event. It was called Raging Bowl, which was fucking great. He got in the ring against these 4 internet critics. And I don't know if they had to sign waivers or whatever, so, you know, he wouldn't be held responsible. But the bell rang, and he beat the living shit out of them. And that's great. Imagine you're making movies. Making movies is your passion. And you, like anybody making anything, like me making a YouTube video or anybody watching this channel, if you're making a YouTube video, you don't want people to shit on your work. I mean, I don't have a lot of pride in this channel, but I don't really, not welcome, but I don't really want negative comments. You know, it's gonna fucking happen. But think of it this way. You're being shit on for what you're fucking doing. You have the chance to take on those fucking haters and beat the shit out of them. And you have that ability, and it's going to happen, and it does. I applaud Uwe. I give credit to those internet critics or whatever that he fought, but the fact that he actually beat the shit out of them, didn't hold anything back. Fuck yeah, I'm happy that this happened. This is one of the fucking coolest things, and that's what I'm gonna miss most about Uwe is his feelings towards himself. He doesn't take himself too seriously, like I said. Him in Postal is a parody of himself. He fucking runs with it. And I'm just wondering, if Uwe was such a bad director, bad filmmaker, whatever, how did he keep getting work? He kept getting funding. He kept getting the same actors to work with him. Zach Ward, like I said, Billy the Kid. He worked with Uwe in at least 2 films that I know of. He was with him in Blood Rain 2, and he was the lead in Postal. What the fuck is his name? Brendan Fletcher. Also in Freddy vs. Jason. He has been in at least, he's in Blood Rain, the Third Reich, which is 3. He's been in at least 2 or 3 Uwe Boll films. Fuck, House of the Dead 1. He got Clint Howard, but he also got Jürgen Prochnow. Is that how you pronounce his name? From Das Boot. And Ellie Cornell from Halloween 4 and 5. Blood Rain itself, you got Christina Loken from Terminator 3. You got Michelle Rodriguez. You got Michael Madsen. Udo Kier. Billy fucking Zane. Meatloaf. And Sir Ben Kingsley are all in an Uwe Boll film. So if this guy is so fucking shitty, how does he get these, this cast? So that says something. And it also goes to say it's disappointing that Uwe can make films, for the most part, that at least I enjoy. And he's got to retire because he's having a hard time getting funding for like his latest film projects. Like he's done some Kickstarters and what have you, and it hasn't worked out. But you got him making these supposedly shitty movies, with a good cast, most of them really recognizable actors and actresses, and he doesn't make his money back, and the low budget shows and stuff like this. But then you have like the Twilight series. The Twilight series is dribble. I watched the first film, and the sparkling vampire shit aside, it's not a really well written film. It's not a really the special effects suck. The acting is horrible. CGI is crap. But you had how many of those fucking films? And they made billions of dollars. All of Stephanie Meyer's books have sold. Yet Uwe can't get any fucking work. Or any funding for his films. Look at Michael Bay. Michael Bay with like the Transformers films, Armageddon, all this mindless explosion shit, which is great, which is fun popcorn stuff, but it's not really great filmmaking, storytelling. But is it because he has such a big budget with his drill that people will fucking flock to his films? But, Uwe Boll makes House of the Dead for $50, paraphrasing, but he makes House of the Dead for fucking $50, and people shit on it because it's just lame action, unlikable characters, unbelievable shit, blah, blah, blah. What's the fucking difference? Do you really think Transformers had a great plot to it, it had a lot of likable characters to it? I don't think so. I enjoyed Transformers for what it was, but I'll tell you what, I would rather watch House of the Dead than rewatch the first Transformers film. And the first Transformers film is one of the most well-received of the 4 of them. I've only seen that one. But that's my point. Armageddon is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a shit film. But it made money. Because you turned your fucking brain off. Big explosions, blah, blah, blah. It's the same type of fucking film House of the Dead is. You have some crappy acting. You have some great action. You have some likable characters. But because it's Uwe fucking Boll, no one gives a shit. His reputation precedes him. But Michael Bay has, the $2 billion budget or whatever it is to make this film. It's disappointing. And it sucks. Because I'm going to miss Uwe. I'm going to miss him poking fun at himself. I'm going to miss his fun films. I'm just going to miss him in general. And you know what? There isn't a single director who has not made a shitty movie. Does that make sense? There isn't a single director out there who's gotten away with not making a bad film. That makes sense? How do I say that? Okay, every director out there has made a shitty film. That makes sense. Steven Spielberg, you had AI. Quentin Tarantino, everyone puts fucking Quentin Tarantino on a goddamn pedestal. Dude, Death Proof sucked. Sorry. You're not this god you fucking think you are. You are overrated. Zack Snyder, wow, you're big now, but you know what? I loved Sucker Punch. I loved Sucker Punch and the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's about it. You're overrated, dude. But they bring in the money. I don't understand it. And Uwe, he has to retire because he can't get funding for his movies. So, just a little video. That I just want to say it sucks. I'm gonna go through the rest of Uwe's library of films. It's disappointing that he's got to quit. I'm going to miss watching his films. Like I said, I have 4 of his films I highly enjoy. 2 I've seen, which I don't really enjoy. Postal, which I don't own, which I will own, is fun for what it's worth. He's just going to be missed. Man pokes fun at himself, knows his reputation, doesn't give a shit, challenges his haters, beats the shit out of them, makes fun films. Yeah. Gets good cast. Dave Foley's in Postal, Zach Ward, like I said, Vern Troyer's in it. He's gotten Billy Zane, Michelle Rodriguez. I'm, repeating myself, but it's gonna suck. I'm very disappointed that Uwe is no longer making films. So Uwe, to you, I say cheers. I hope this is like Ric Flair or Terry Funk, and this is just one of many retirements. You will come back, but it seems like he really is done, and it's sad and disappointing. But you know what? Your work will live on in home media. So to you, Uwe, I say cheers. And you know what? Live your life. Don't care about the haters. Have fun. Take care. And yeah, like he's fucking watching this. But anyways, cheers to Uwe. I enjoy your work. And that's it. Cheers.